Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who was wisdom, who was the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahushai. Pray that the Most High blesses this lesson this afternoon, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of things that are soon to come on the earth. Going to be getting back into some more of these notes here from Switching Lanes that have blessed us with. And we're going to be talking about the Jedi and how, there's two sets. And you can tell by the frequencies that people are working on. You got the Dark Lords, the Sith, who are working on a very low frequency of emotions and hate. And if you look at many people right now, especially the ones who have not been awakened, you see all the hate that they have. You see the fact that they don't have much compassion, and they only think about themselves, very selfish. But you're going to see that the other side of the coin that has been pretty much made to be at the pretty much hidden, so you don't see the alternative to the hate. And that's what we are definitely been experiencing. Even we came into this truth, they were trying to work on our low frequency and keep us in a status of just pretty much hating everyone, hating our enemies. And like I said, the thing is that there's a time and season for everything, but that hate doesn't get us anywhere personally. Doesn't get us any closer to the Father. All we do is, if we just worry about all the hate that we have for everybody else, we don't grow. We stay on the same level, the same frequency that all the other nations are on. As you can see, the vast majority of the nations they say they love each other, but do they really? They've now been exposed to the fact that Most High opened their eyes to the 400 years that they have destroyed our people, hated our people, put them in slavery, hid our history. But they say they love each other. They love everyone. Well, why do they not believe then that that those people who've been at the bottom are eventually due to be put back on top? That it's only fair, that it's only right that the people who have served slavery and that have built up their nation, that they would have their opportunity to be on top, and that the rest of the nations will definitely be moved to beneath the Most High's chosen people. That would be only fair, because we've been beneath everyone else for these last 500 plus years. But let's go ahead and take a look here real quick at these notes. Okay, we read a little bit at the top, and it's talking about these priests, these priests that have all this knowledge and understanding. We talked about and then they always try to use Egypt, Giza. And then I showed you guys in the last video about how the sisters showed us that how Egypt or Giza is actually here in the Americas. And that would make a lot of sense. But let's take a look here at these last couple paragraphs. It says, we too have equal opportunity to make it or break it. The discoveries emerging from Egypt describe the existence of a worldwide temple system in prehistory. And see, remember now, a lot of the prehistory is hidden over here. Not talked about. Anything pre-Columbus was not accepted. So you got to think of a place all over the world where they've hidden history. Well, that prehistory fits over here. Okay? So again, a worldwide pyramid system in prehistory mounted like antenna on the key energy meridians, which were employed by ancient priest scientists. Okay, so we have these ancient priest scientists. We know those are the Levites. We already know those are the ones the Most High has been dealing with, these ancient priest scientists, okay? As a musical system to stabilize the tectonic plates of the planet, all right? Cataclysmic geology at its finest. So many of these things that were shared with Enoch and then, passed down to his posterity, and eventually these secrets would be given to his descendants, okay? So from the mother tongue word Jedi, meaning the way of the word, or the power of the word. The ancient Jedi priests used the language of light to tune the planet like a giant harmonic bell. Much is being rediscovered, okay, in the last days of this time cycle. So a lot of this information is being given back. A lot of this understanding will be given back, at the end of the age of Esau and the beginning of the time of Jacob. Okay, and the words of Dr. J. Franz of the Omega Foundation, even if we don't dare to name it, there is a universal feeling of something impending on the world stage. And that's exactly what's going on right now. We all feel it. Everyone feels that there's something coming very soon. The Most High is destroying, this time period. He is destroying this era. And we all know that there's a shoe that's about to drop. So us as a people need to be, yes, there's a time and there's a time and place for everything. We understand all the things that these nations did to us, but we understand also that the Most High was the one that allowed it to happen. And we also know that He is going to raise His people back up out of the doldrums and raise them back up. And the people He used to put us at the bottom, He's going to deal with them as well. So here we go. Let's take a look here real fast. Some more of these notes here. Jedi are the opposite of Sith, another group of force wielders. The Sith use their passion and other strong emotions fuel their power. Sith are dark mirrors to Jedi. Sith emphasize domination. All right, has that not been what these people here have concentrated on? Dominating everybody else, dominating the world stage, dominating our people, dominating anyone that does not agree, okay, with their ideas of how things are to be. So you see these like Sith, and you see the whole world domination. That's what's been going on right now. And now the whole earth is in flux right now because, these evil people have been wielding their power and have pretty much destroyed everything. So then it kind of makes sense when you read the Bible about how when the wicked are in rule, the whole earth mourns. Well, that would make sense because these people here that are in, when the wicked are in charge, they're all about domination. They're not about, being in tune with the world, being in tune with earth, being in tune with nature. They're not into being in tune with mankind. So while Jedi instead teach connecting with nature in the universe. Could this be the Jesus versus Satan story? Could be. But it makes a lot of sense, as you see this right here. Now, that's why they always are, a lot of these people in this world are always like bad-mouthing people who love nature, bad-mouthing people who want to live harmoniously with the earth. See, just when they found and he got here and they saw that the natives were actually, or the Hebrews here were living in tune with nature. And you start to see like why in these movies, they are always trying to destroy the ones that are in tune with nature. Now you see it's a battle between good and evil because the wicked want to dominate, the righteous want to live, with nature. So you go back to that movie Avatar, and that's exactly what was happening right there. And that's, I'm sure, exactly what happened when they got here. When the Europeans were brought over here, they were all about domination. And then that makes sense as to why, the Most High said He was going to keep, these other nations away. But once we messed up, He was going to bring them over because in their nature, it's all about domination. And that's why even to today, when you see the end of their time coming, they're still thinking about dominating other countries. They're still thinking about, pushing their agenda along. So let's continue right here. It says Jedi viewed purity of thoughts and detachment of emotions as essential to enlightenment. So you just can't be all emotional and thinking about everything emotionally. But if you look at the news and you look at people, you talk about them just putting on something like a mask, and you see how emotional they get. If you do anything that detracts from their freedom, see how emotional they get. So you see how they're not in control of their emotions. So that makes a lot of sense as to why they are the wicked. They're all about dominating. And they feel as if someone tries to hamper, what it is that they want, that they can't dominate. All right. So you look over here at the bottom. Jedi, traditional weapon is a lightsaber a device which generates a blade like plasma, powered by a kyber crystal. Take a look over to the right here with the Wikipedia for Jedi. So I guess you got teachers, philosophers, scientists, engineers, physicians, diplomats, negotiations, warriors, peacekeepers. So if you look at all the things that were built before the Egyptians got over here, it seems like you have a whole race of people that are, teachers, philosophers, scientists, engineers. And there's so many engineering feats over here that they could not duplicate over in the three parts, that they just had to hide it or lie about it actually being here. And you can't be, if you think about all the things that were built, all the pyramids that were built over here, and you can't be wasting your time on just emotional things and just domination in order to build all these structures here. If your whole world is just about domination and it's not about, being scientists, engineers, physicians, teachers, teaching people how to do these things, then you can't accomplish the great feats that were accomplished over here. That's why I'm sure that the three parts looks exactly the way it did, and the Most High's chosen people and their lands looked the way they did, because of the, what their emotions elicit. If all you're worried about is dominating things, how can you build things? So I'm thinking that the way that these people are reads a reflection also of their lands and a reflection of their accomplishments. Fast forward to now here in the Americas. They've been here 500 plus years. What have they really built? What have these other nations really built? We know they couldn't build anything without us. And that makes sense as to why they have to hide or take credit for all the things that we invented, because their spirit is all about domination. Ours is about enlightenment, learning. So now we get all the way to today, and now that they're getting their history torn down, they're all upset because the history that they've made up of all their great accomplishments is now being shown to be a bunch of lies. And that all goes back still to the emotions of the people and what, they key on as far as their emotions. Now, when we look to the three parts and they're trying to say that all those things are built over there, we know that that's not possible. Why is that? Because they represent the Sith, and they're not about building things. So now it makes more sense as we get into these other books and it talks about how all these things are built here, and they just try to translate that information from here and in the Americas over to the old world or to their world, the three parts. Now you have a better understanding as to why. Because they were not capable of building all these things, because they were too busy trying to dominate and have war with each other and being emotional, as opposed to being enlightened thinkers and actually building something that'll last. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.